5 takeaways from Carlos Correa's introductory press conference introducing a new Minnesota Twin. On today's episode of Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 23rd, and I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. We are free and available on all podcast platforms. Again, this is Nash Walker. I've been hosting this podcast over 2 years, coming up on 550 episodes. Amazing how long this has felt and how up and down it's been over the last couple of years. Been writing at Twins Daily for over 2 years. We are back to 5 days a week for Locked On Twins on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to be here 5 days a week, breaking down games, breaking down hopefully more Twins signings here in the next couple days, perhaps, and breaking down the biggest storylines from the 2022 season. And for me, to see Carlos Correa introduced as a Minnesota Twin today was just extremely special. And I happened to wake up early today. The press conference was at 8 a.m. And I think it was fate. I woke up early because I was meant to watch the press conference. I think I was woken up by the Twins gods, and it was so fun to see. It's so fun to see the Twins make a splash signing. It's great to win. It feels amazing. Winning games is the ultimate goal. And also, when the team commits in the offseason to winning, when they make winning moves, it's almost as sweet because it feels validating. It feels validating to what I've been pushing all offseason, which is make moves to compete. And that's what they're doing. And they're not done. And if you listen to yesterday's episode, Ted Schwerzler and I talked about the fact that they're not done. They need to go get another starter or two to really put themselves back into the conversation. But they've had a heck of a start. And Carlos Correa, I have 5 takeaways from his press conference today, introducing him as a Twin. I see in the pictures, I still don't believe it. If you're watching on YouTube, here's how he looks in a Twins uni. If you're not, he looks good. It's crazy. Carlos Correa is a Minnesota Twin. So unlikely. It's surreal. And there are really no words to describe Carlos Correa as a Minnesota Twin. It's going to be so fun to watch him. My first takeaway, and I think this is probably the takeaway for a lot of people who are watching today or reading quotes from today, is that Carlos Correa is a winner. He's won. He's played in 79, I think, postseason games. Nick Nelson tweeted this yesterday. 79 postseason games. He's 27 or not even 27. It's insane. He has so much postseason experience. He's played on some amazing teams. He's a leader. He's a winner. He's been there. He's done that. He knows what it takes. And his big tagline today was building a championship culture. That's what he wants to do. He wants to build a championship culture in Minnesota. And it might sound like lip service. Carlos Correa can walk the talk. He's done it. He has built that. He helped build that in Houston. And it wasn't just him. They had an amazing roster around him. But he helped build that. And that was his tagline today. That was my biggest takeaway, honestly, was that this guy's a winner. And he's going to bring that winning attitude, that winning mentality to the Twins. And I mentioned this with Ted. I think it's really beneficial for other members of the team to see Carlos Correa walk into the clubhouse every day and say, oh man, I better ramp it up. There's a higher bar now. There's a higher expectation. Carlos Correa is now the highest paid infielder in Major League history, and he's on our team. I need to lift my own performance. I need to buy in, and I need to focus. And I think that that's going to help everybody. I do. And I think when they say certain players make everybody around them better, Carlos Correa definitely falls into that category. And he's done that in Houston. He knows how to do it. That was a big takeaway from today, absolutely, is that he is a winning makeup. He's just a winner. And we said a lot of the same things about Josh Donaldson, but Donaldson doesn't have even close to the postseason track record of Correa, both in quantity and quality in the postseason. Correa in the playoffs is basically the same player, and that's amazing because he's facing really tough pitching throughout the postseason. We saw what he did to the Twins in 2020, hit a crucial home run He's been incredibly clutch. He's come through in clutch situations over and over and over again. He's a great hitter, and that's translated into the playoffs, where for some players it doesn't translate as well. But he has translated that into the playoffs. He is the same player in the postseason as he is in the regular season, which is refreshing because sometimes we've seen certain twins, lock up in the postseason. We don't even recognize them in the playoffs. They just shut down for a 3-game series or a 5-game series, and you don't even know who you're looking at sometimes with the Twins in the playoffs. Just starstruck. Carlos Correa is not going to be starstruck in the postseason if he does get there with the Twins, and hopefully they put the right pieces around him to give him a chance to bring them there. But if they do, he's going to be their leader. He's going to be their cog in the playoffs, and he's going to be the guy everybody looks at as someone who's played. He's going to end up playing 100 postseason games probably by the time his career is over, which is crazy. And I would bet that he's going to win another World Series. I would bet that he's going to win a lot of playoff games, a lot of playoff series. I hope it's with the Twins. And the reason I'm saying I would bet that is because he is a winner. And that's the biggest takeaway from today. The Twins added an exceptional player who seems to be a solid person and just a winner, someone who brings that mentality, the championship mentality every single day. That's exactly what they need right now. And that brings me to my next 4 points. We're going to talk about them after these words from Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. Have you tried the Puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting flavors. Puffs are the first ever protein infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy. They're not just a protein bar, they're a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite with some incredible flavors: yummy cinnamony churro, coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie, all so good. These are going to be your new favorite. Excuse me. Puffs are the best, and Built Bars are the best. And they're not just delicious, they're healthy. Most Built Bars contain only 130 calories, 4 grams of net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar. Much more in terms of calories, a lot more sugar, less protein. Built Bar has it all, and yes, they are delicious. It's all about the taste, but it's all about the health. You can go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, and get 15% off your order. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, and get 15% off your order. Thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. Locked On MLB Prospects, also outstanding. Host Lindsey Crosby is a prospect encyclopedia, and he's going deep on the MLB stars of tomorrow. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. Biggest takeaway from today: Carlos Correa is a winner. Number 2, he's a great fit, and that ties into him being a winner. But he's a great fit for what this team needs right now, which is that mindset. They need a great player. They need a star player to pair with Byron Buxton, and that's exactly what Carlos Correa is. He's a great fit for them right now in a position of need, in an intangible of need. Carlos Correa is an awesome fit, and I think it's super obvious, and he said it. It feels right, and I think it does. It feels right to have Carlos Correa on this team at this time. Critical. Really, really great. Jim Pohlad sounds like really likes Carlos Correa, which is awesome. And I think sometimes owners are so disconnected. It feels like they're so disconnected, and especially with the lockout this offseason felt that way. To hear that Jim Pohlad was really supportive of this signing, really supportive of Carlos Correa, shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be something that blows your socks off or is very impressive, but it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear that the ownership, Jim Pohlad, the group, was excited and wanted to bring in Carlos Correa. That's the way it should be. That's the way it hasn't felt that way recently, but that's great. And I also think that means, for the future, when Jim Pohlad signs off on things, Derek Falvey and Thad Levine are not afraid to pull the trigger on something like this. And I think as a unit, that's really exciting as a fan, because it even if it is only a 1-year deal for Carlos Correa, into the future, you hope that this leads to more deals. And I think the Donaldson deal and that sweepstakes and the way that it went down, I think that helped this group push into Carlos Correa and take that next step in free agency and really start to pursue. Now, in this case, it sounds like Scott Boras, Correa's agent, reached out to the Twins and said, hey, I have a guy who's a great fit for you. He rakes at target field. You need a shortstop. He wants to take a short-term. We're going to take a short-term deal. What do you think? And for the Twins, I mean, of course, you're going to say you're interested. It came together very quickly. It sounds like Carlos Correa was excited to become a Twin, which you always want to hear. You always want to hear that. And he's already working with Royce Lewis, which is great and plays into that great fit, leadership, winning mentality. Also, he demands attention. He demands eyes when he walks into the clubhouse. And I think that's great. And Jim Pohlad recognizes that. Derek Falvey, Thad Levine recognized that. And it's nice to know that they feel the same way I think a lot of us Twins fans do, which is this would be a huge opportunity, and they took advantage of it, which is great. Really came across Carlos Correa talking about a Zoom call he had with Rocco Baldelli, Derek Falvey, Thad Levine, Dave St. Peter, whoever else was on the call. The Twins are committed to Carlos Correa. They're committed to making more moves around Carlos Correa. It sounds like they really did have discussions about how the Twins are going to improve going into 2022, because we know Carlos Correa with other clubs was looking at WAR projections, looking at baseball projections and saying, how are you going to get better for me? And there's no question he did that with the Twins. He said the whole conversation was built around winning, about bouncing back from 2021. It was great to hear Derek Falvey say, as immediately when the season ended, we said, how can we fix this? Let's dig deep and how can we fix this? And that's music to my ears, because that's what I've been calling for. Instead of we had a tough year, let's have another tough year. Let's have another one. It's how can we get better? Where can we improve? Where are the opportunities? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? Who's a threat to us? Where are our opportunities on the free agent market, in the trade market? And I think they're trying to take advantage of those things, and that's all I've asked for. Now, this may not work out. Correa could be hurt a lot of this year. He could be ineffective. I would bet against that, but a mixture of the two. I love that they took this risk, and I'm calling it a great move because it's a great risk. And I think the risk also is not as pronounced as it may seem for someone getting paid $35.1 million a year, because he does have the opt-out, because at most it's $35 million a year for 3 years. This is not a 10-year, $350 million commitment. And I'll tell you, a lot of Twins fans are going to say it's only 1 year. Why should we be so excited? It's only 1 year. Would you rather have Carlos Correa for 1 year or not have Carlos Correa at all? I would take the former. So that's the reality of the situation. The Twins do not get Carlos Correa unless he has those opt-outs, unless this is the contract structure, because they're just not going to sign him to a 10-year, $350 million deal. And that's disappointing. You would think maybe one day they'll do something like that. Didn't sound like they were going to do that for Correa. That leads me to my final takeaway. We'll get to it after this word from MLB Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is amazing. I started taking Athletic Greens about a year ago. My family takes it now. It is delicious. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things you're focused on. Athletic Greens is the best. I mean, I think it's tasty, it's good for you, and it absolutely is affordable. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplies and supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. My final takeaway from the Carlos Correa introductory press conference is that this is a 1-year deal, that it's a great deal, and that it makes a ton of sense for the Twins right now. That's the overarching feeling here. It's a great deal for them. I think it's an outstanding deal. It's very unlikely, and Keith Law wrote about this at The Athletic today. It's very unlikely this deal goes extremely poorly for the Twins. That was not the case with Josh Donaldson. And I wouldn't say the Donaldson deal went extremely poorly. I wouldn't say it went well. I wouldn't say it went terribly. It's somewhere in the middle, wherever you feel. This deal is not like that. This deal, I think, has a lot more upside and less risk than the Donaldson deal. And I really loved the Donaldson deal. Don't get me wrong. I would do that. I'd pull the trigger on that again if I'm the Twins. This deal, to me, is perfect for what they need right now. And I think if Carlos Correa goes out there and has an exceptional season for the Twins, if he replicates what he did last year, he's a 7-win player where the Twins got basically 1 win combined at shortstop last year. He adds 6 wins to this team from last year. And then he opts out. You smile when you think about the Carlos Correa era, even though it was 1 year, and you say, wow, that was an amazing season. And it sucks that he's gone, but that was special. So my message to Twins fans, and I know Cleveland Guardians ownership said this about Francisco Lindor before they traded him, maybe a year before. Enjoy Carlos Correa. These things do not come around for the Twins every offseason. They don't come around every 10 off seasons. This is the biggest signing they've ever made. This is the most impactful signing they've ever made in terms of quality of player. I know Jack Morris ended up being amazing, and a lot of this will end up coming with how Correa fares in a Twins uniform and how this 10-year goes, this 1 year goes. But in terms of impact, in terms of average annual value, all-time infielder in Major League history, highest paid, this is the most impactful signing the Twins have ever made. So enjoy it and enjoy Carlos Correa. And watching him every single day is just going to be a treat. And it's going to be so much fun to have him at shortstop, to have Byron Buxton in center field. Hopefully you're crossing your fingers, hoping and praying they can play a bunch of games together this year. Because if they do, this offense has a chance to be really good. And it goes back to my fourth takeaway. The Twins are committed to making more moves for Carlos Correa. So what does that look like? Who's coming? We're going to get to that tomorrow and Friday. Hopefully we have some concrete information to go off of with opening day 2 weeks from tomorrow. But man, they've had an exciting start. And to see Carlos Correa in a Twins uniform, that in and of itself, even knowing that the rotation is lacking, creates buzz, creates excitement. 60,000 extra tickets sold since the Carlos Correa signing, which just shows you the impact of a player of his stature, a superstar player. Twins haven't had one in a while, and they have one on their roster right now. And I would just say to Twins fans, enjoy Carlos Correa, enjoy the content, enjoy the swings, enjoy the energy, enjoy the leadership, because he is a special, special player. And that really shined through today in his press conference. If you have any Carlos Correa questions, I want you to drop them in the comments on YouTube, or you can tweet at me at NashWalker9, tweet at the show at Locked On Twins, because I want to break this into a tree. How does Carlos Correa impact Loris Lewis? How does he impact the future of the Twins? I want to talk about those things. So if anything interests you pertaining to Carlos Correa and the Twins, what it may look like, how that impacts roster construction, let me know in the comments. I would love to read and I would love to talk about those things, because this is a monumental signing for the Minnesota Twins, and one that I think could really, really turn things around for them, or start the turnaround for them. Certainly more so than it would have if they signed Jose Iglesias or Jonathan Villar to play shortstop. Instead, they go get the best shortstop and the best player on the market, perhaps the best shortstop in the league and one of the best players in the world, in Carlos Correa. Awesome. He's a Twin. It's official. Enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening today. Twins have more work to do. We know that. I have a lot more work to do to break it down for you. You can follow me on Twitter at NashWalker9. You can follow the show at Locked On Twins. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day, and I'll make your second listen Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan, please call him Sully, brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues past and present. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. We'll leave you with this image, Twins fans. Carlos Correa, a Minnesota Twin.